Hi guys, and welcome. In this video we'll explore in how to find an unknown side in trigonometry. Okay, so we can use trigonometry to work out a missing side. All we need to know is one side and one of the angles in a right angle triangle. You have to be very quick in finding out which are the ratios we need to use. Okay, so in this example, we've got a right angle triangle. It must be right angled. We've got one angle and we have two side lengths. One of them is missing. One of them is known. We have to figure out which ratio we need to use. So if you remember SOHCAHTOA, that will help you calculate one of the sides using a particular ratio. So in relation to this particular angle, we now have the opposite and we have the hypotenuse. So out of the three ratios, sine, cos, and tan, we need to use the one that has opposite and hypotenuse. So if you can see opposite and hypotenuse, the sine ratio is the one that we'll be using. So remembering that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so this is the opposite and this is the hypotenuse. So sine theta, in this case, theta is 37 degrees, so sine theta is equal to x over 14.3. We want to work out what x is, so to get rid of the 14.3 on the denominator, let's multiply both sides by 14.3. Now anything divided by itself is just 1, so we can cross out the 14.3s, so they will cancel. So x is going to be equal to 14.3 multiplied by sine 37. Use your calculator, make sure it's in degrees mode to work this out. And that is what your calculator will display. And the question states to round off your answer to one decimal place. So your answer will be 8.6 centimeters. So there was a few things that we had to do for this particular question. Looking at your right angle triangle, figure out which ratio to use. Once you have worked out the ratio, there's the opposite over the hypotenuse. Write that in an equation, and then through step-by-step processes, work out what the pronumeral is going to be. So this side is going to be 8.6 centimeters in that particular right angle triangle. Okay, pause the video. Have an attempt at this question to work out what y is. Okay, so step one is to figure out what ratio to use. In this case, there's the opposite. We don't have any opposites or no measurements in the opposite side. This is the hypotenuse and this is the adjacent. So we need adjacent and hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse is going to be the cosine ratio. So cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. So cos theta, in this case theta is 60, so cos 60 is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Multiply both sides by your denominator, which is 123. The two 123s will be cancelled, and that will leave us with what y is, and y is going to be 123 multiplied by cos 60, and that gives you an exact value of 61.5 or 61.5 millimeters. How did you go with that question? Okay, here we have two triangles, one that evaluates k and the other one evaluates p. Pause the video and I will display the answers in a moment. Okay, so k to two decimal places is 40.52 and p is 15.97. In this one, opposite over adjacent, so you should have had the tan ratio. And over here we've got opposite over hypotenuse, so this one would have been the sine ratio. Thank you for watching that video on how to find an unknown side in the use of trigonometry.